Hello and welcome to another Wednesday audio video with me, Harry Quinn. This time we're just going to be looking at how I set up my acoustic guitar's preamp settings when I'm playing live. I'll demonstrate the DI signal to you and also just play you what it sounds like with this SE condenser by way of comparison. But firstly, I'll show you a picture of what I'm looking at. This will be the case for this particular model of Maton Performer guitar. So we've got a volume, a treble, a bass, we've got a mid control, which I use just to sort of dial out any little bits of pokiness in that sort of upper mid 1 to 2K range. So it's quite a fine area, but there's a certain characteristic of DI acoustic guitars that it's sensible to have this just to dial it back usually. So what I do is I have my volume at about 85-90%, just so I've got a little headroom to just pull it up a bit. Some sound engineers like to tell you to put a volume at half, let's say, but in my opinion, unless you've got an extremely hot guitar, have it wherever you want to put it, based on your preference and experience with the instrument, and let the sound engineer deal with their gain on their end of the mixer themselves. So this is where I prefer to have it, just so I've got a little headroom to turn it up or turn it down slightly, depending on if I'm playing more of a sort of acoustic track, finger picking, or something that's, loud or strummy with a plectrum. Now with the treble and the bass, I like to sometimes just raise that treble just a tiny bit, just to get it. And that's the DI, and then just the acoustic. Just to get that little bit of poke in the treble region, and then often because I typically hit the guitar a little bit for various getting that bass sort of kick vibe from the piezo pickup here. I have to be a bit careful with this bass. Obviously you can get a lot more precise with a separate EQ on a mixer or on a dedicated pedal, but I find that as long as I'm just reducing that bass just a tiny bit, I'm not getting overwhelmed with the hits that I typically do. I'm just going to play a bit of a longer excerpt so you can compare the sound of the DI and this mic that's about 8 inches pointing at, let's point it at about the 12th, 14th fret. Okay, so here we go. Okay, and now the acoustic mic here. And that's played fairly softly. Obviously it's apples and oranges in terms of comparing the two, but just for reference, for knowing what the guitar sounds like in this room versus how the DI sounds itself for you on listening to this video. I hope that was useful. This is literally what I'm looking at. I've just kept it simple for now. I have a long history of thinking about pedal boards and stuff, but at the moment, playing in different places and just having this awareness of the very small amount of controls that I hear actually quite powerful, and once that's going, then it's a case of performing my tunes and singing and getting everything to flow and fit nicely together, hopefully. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.